What's up everyone, welcome back to Corner Collectibles. Today we're going to talk about how to trim the O.D.S.T Shad Bradley Studios kit. Alright, so this is the belt buckle. Alright, it's the smallest piece in the kit basically, and I wanted to trim it for you guys. What tools you need to use to trim it, sand it down to get it smooth, and what tools you need to use for that as well. This kit again is made from an ABS plastic and is vacuum formed. It's a pretty sturdy, kit. But let's get into the tools real quick. All right. So that first tool you're gonna need is either some tin snips or some, like, if you get a 3D printer. I don't really know what these are called, but it has a really sharp edge and everything for you to cut through plastics or anything. So I use this. It helps me guide myself to keep steady on that line that I'm going to show you. And then after you're done with that, you are going to have a jagged edge, so you're going to need a Dremel tool with a sanding drum on the end of it to smooth that out. Alright, so what I want to talk about here on the actual belt buckle piece is you see this harsh line right here, everything. That's the line you're going to be cutting on. The reason you're going to cut that is that's excess flashing, okay? And what flashing happens usually when you're molding something and you have a mold and it spills over the mold, and then you got to cut that and Dremel it off. But for a vacuum formed kit, they give flashing because you have to have a buck that's under the mold, okay? And then when you vacuum form it, you can cut on that and everything without harming the actual prop you want. So I'm gonna go and cut this right now a couple times, then we're gonna come back after it's done. So I cut into it like at an angle, like so, into that line, and it just falls off. And then I do it at the other angle too. Be careful, alright? This stuff does fly away, that's why I'm outside. And you can kind of like tuck yourself in here. You don't have to get too close because you can fix that edge up. And then I take the tool and I grip it here and I pull away like so, okay, until it's like that. And then I line myself up on that edge as close as possible, and I continue to do that through that whole piece. And like I said, you're gonna have jagged edges, so you're gonna have to sand it, okay? So I will come back when it's done and I'll show you how to sand it, okay? So here we are back with the piece. It is totally snipped off and trimmed, okay? I told you there was going to be these jagged edges because you're not really gonna get it straight as possible using snips or whatever. Like I said, take your time. It's going to look ugly, but trust the process. The next thing you're gonna do is, use your Dremel tool, and you're gonna go over gently. And I like to turn it upside down so I can see that edge where I'm like dremeling to. And there's kind of like a curved edge on there, like you can kind of see it. And you just Dremel up to that line. And so I'm gonna start that real quick. It is gonna get a little loud, so I might mute it in this section, but I just want you guys to see, how it's done, so you guys can do it yourself if you ever get one of these kits. So apologies if it is loud and I mess up on the audio, but it should be good. So again, again, once you start sanding it, you can kind of see this edge is losing that jagged section right there. That's what you kind of want. But again, I'm going to continue to sand it down until it meets that edge line right there, that extra piece that's still sticking out. I will be back with the finished sanding part, and then we'll go over how to smooth it out too. So I'll be right back. Alright, now that we are done with getting rid of those jagged edges, as you can see, everything, there's those couple little pieces of plastic that are hanging on because they were melting and stuff. That stuff just falls off really easy. Okay, now we need to smooth it. You don't want to cut yourself on your plastic whenever you're putting your kit on and stuff. So you can either use a sanding sponge, which you can get at Walmart, 220 grit to 320 grit. This stuff works wonders. I like using it on other props. I do resin 3D printing, and I love this thing. Or you can get something like actual sandpaper instead of a sanding sponge. 600 grit typically works for me and everything. It's self-explanatory when sanding. You just want to, hit those edges, really good. It's going to burn your hands a little bit, so just like take a break or so, but like now you can see it's starting to smooth that edge out. All right, so again, I'm gonna cut the video here, and we'll be back when the whole thing is smooth and ready to go. So here we are back again. Now that we have a piece that's ready and sanded down on the edges, it is trimmed up, like I said, so trimmed up as best as possible. It is smoothed out, so now I'm not gonna cut myself on this edge. Like, it's a beautiful kit, alright? I know Sean Bradley has a kit assembly page that he emailed me. He can email you if you go ask for it and stuff, message him about it, and he can send that to you. And that's basically going to tell you how to trim up the kit to your size. Now, I am 5'9", almost 5'10". I'm around his size, so I didn't have to trim up any parts of my kit so far that everything just fits naturally where that line was. So for me, it was simple. For you, it could be different. If you're smaller, taller, you might need to extend something. You might need to, shorten something. And he'll have guidelines where you can cut it in the center or cut it through the middle and everything. I don't recommend doing it to a piece like this, but the thigh plates, which is super simple. The shins, you can trim up a little bit and shorten. But again, I'm not going to be doing that in my videos because I don't need to, again, trim anything like that. But I just wanted to go over, how to cut the flashing off and, get you guys started on what tools you need, how to sand and stuff. Again, he does have a very descriptive PDF file type stuff for you guys. Remember to wear, a mask, respiratory mask, and some glasses to protect your eyes and stuff. When you're sanding that plastic, it can get very toxic when it starts to melt and you're breathing in those fumes, and you don't want to do that. So the next video, I'm gonna go over how to, put the lower half together and what I'm doing to strap it all together and what, buckles I'm using and straps and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really am enjoying this kit so far, and I hope you are too. And maybe this will persuade you to get one yourself and join, the ODST Hell Jumpers. But until then, I want you to like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I will catch you guys in the next video.